Hi, thanks for coming to my video. I want to talk to you about something that really is important and ask you to do something that I think really makes a difference. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to force a vote on the health care bill as early as this week. I'm urging you and all of my friends to contact your representatives in Congress. Ask them to vote against this irresponsible legislation. It would only result in higher taxes at both the state and federal level, increased costs for health insurance, and ultimately worse quality care. Under the current proposal, 15 million people would be moved to the government-run Medicaid program. This further strains a federal-state program where costs are already busting state budgets. In Mississippi alone, state taxes would jump at least $150 million a year. That's a bitter pill, especially when we're trying to recover from the worst economic climate since the Great Depression. In Mississippi, we're seeing revenue decline each month, and we've cut spending for education and public safety in order to keep the budget balanced. Now, Washington wants to force us to spend another $150 million a year that we just don't have. This bill would result in raising taxes during a recession, federal and state taxes. And that's about the worst thing you can do to businesses and families who are trying to keep their heads above water. And of course, it is the worst thing for job creation at a time when we ought to be trying to create jobs. The health care plan would drive up the cost of your health insurance for families and for businesses. Now, don't take my word for it. President Obama's own Department of Health and Human Services says the plan will cause premiums to skyrocket and force $500 billion in cuts to the Medicare program for our senior citizens. Working families with private insurance won't be able to keep what they have. The bill gives control over your health care plan to bureaucrats in Washington. You'll have less say in your health decisions, and Washington will decide what insurance you can buy. Americans have learned more about this bill than any legislation I can ever remember, and they don't like it. Rasmussen reports 53% of Americans oppose this health care plan. The only thing bipartisan about this legislation is the opposition to it. Any legislation which will impact a sixth of our entire economy ought to have broad support across the political spectrum. This doesn't. Raising taxes, increasing the cost of health care, giving you less control over your own health decisions, cutting Medicare benefits, using procedural tricks to pass unwanted legislation. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to know this health care legislation is just bad medicine. So I ask you, call your congressman and tell him or her you don't want this health care bill forced down your throat by Speaker Pelosi and the Democrats in Washington. Ask your congressman to vote no on concurring with the Senate-passed health care reform bill. Thanks.